The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Bermuda's Feel Good Early Morning Show. Good day, Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert, and we want to thank you for getting up bright and early with us on this Tuesday morning. Jacky, how are you feeling? How was your evening? How was your day yesterday?
Well, yesterday was a whole hurricane, so I actually ended up just staying home, chilling, catching up on some rest. That's about it.
Well, that's good. I did see the rain, and I was like, oh, but Coach Jacky isn't getting out with her clients today, so there's that.
Not today. Yeah, I actually hit up my clients. Let's start with the fact that I messaged everybody. I was just like, is it raining in town, or is it just raining here? And I was just like, it's raining. I got all these videos and pictures, and I was just like, yeah, there's no tennis today. There's no tennis.
Absolutely no tennis happened for you yesterday. I was actually pretty happy that it was raining yesterday because I didn't have to do too much travel yesterday, so I wasn't too affected by it. However, I definitely can say I am, fingers crossed, that today's weather is not like yesterday, but I am gonna wear my rain boots to work because
yeah, it's supposed to be like 100% rain.
Exactly. No, I saw that
at like 9-10 a.m. and it was weird because I saw like this orange light coming through my window. I was like, what is going on outside? And I looked out and it was the sunrise, and I was just like, it's beautiful.
It was definitely beautiful this morning. And so if you're just joining us, we do want to remind you to go ahead and share today's episode because as you can see, Jacky and I are up bright and early, ready to bring you some feel-good vibes this morning. We've seen the sunrise, so we are definitely ready for it to be a great one. Our feel-good topic of the day, we're going to be talking about travel and whether it can make us happy or not. And if you want to test your trivia knowledge against Jacky, make sure you stick around for our feel-good vibe of the day, which is trivia time with me, Terri. Today's category is TV shows. But we're going to start this episode off with our feel-good warm-up. Now, yesterday we started talking about, the fact that the BFA had their very first Premier Division match streamed on YouTube, and we started to dive into some resource constraints. So we wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that because it did come up towards the end of the warm-up, and we definitely want to, acknowledge that there are some challenges. So what resources do you think the BFA need to stream local and international matches outside of a platform, be it YouTube, StreamYard, whatever the case may be? What do you think they need in order for it to be like what you see when you watch ESPN, etc.? Like, what do you think they need to broadcast? I should have said broadcast, not stream, but you get what I'm talking about.
Some personalities. And here's the fun thing. We already know who the people in the football arena already know who the personalities are. And I think they need to get them from, obviously, every time you go to a football game, there's always like 3 people that's yelling and talking. Yes. Those 3 people that are standing together that are yelling, put them right in the booth because they are the funniest people, the wrenching, the educating, the saying back in my day. And that's what I want to hear. That's Absolutely. What I want to hear.
I want to change it from stream to broadcast. I'm listening. Even though, I'm saying.
Talking out loud.
Yeah. I absolutely was talking out loud.
Yeah. No, I would like to have those people sitting in the booth, kind of like when you go Connie game or Cut Match when they have that streamed and you're just like, yeah, the jokes, all of that. I want it all.
One thing I can say that I think that they need outside of like personalities is an experience. And so when I say experience, I don't just mean show the match, like show the spectators. Yes, there isn't much spectators today because, safe key and all of that good jazz. It's a whole panorama still outside. However, I definitely think that bringing back be for a lot of us where it was an event to go to on a Sunday. It was something that you were excited about, whether you knew someone playing or not. You were definitely, you experienced football Sundays. Like football Sundays was a thing. So I definitely feel like not just from a technology broadcast perspective, but definitely focusing on selling the experience of football to get people to want to come out, because all BFA matches are safe key. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, that's what it is right now. So like, how can you encourage people to want to get a safe key to come to a football game? I definitely think that that's something that is a resource. I mean, it's a resource that they necessarily cannot control per se, but I definitely think they should have some type of focus on selling the experience to us so that we can actually want to watch it.
And when you say that, and you say talk about like look at the spectators, the fans, Bermudians, our fashion is so wicked. Like I was standing there and I'm looking at everybody's sneakers, the way they dress. I'm like, Bermudians are some fly people. And it'll be nice if you could do like a cute little fashion cam here and there, like, sneaker, what's your kicks of the day, blah, 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 stuff like that. That'd be wicked because we're all, majority of us are sneakerheads. And if it's not sneakerheads, we're into the jackets, the hairstyles, all that stuff. It'd be wicked.
Exactly. And so we have a question, which I don't know if you can answer, but we're going to bring it into the conversation the same way. Nishika asks, why does football need a safe key when it is outside? These are questions that neither Jackie and I have the answer to. However, I can say that a lot of people have that question. Those of us not only having to administrate the games, but there's people actually going to the games because, as you mentioned, Nishika, it is an outdoor event. And a lot of events have seen their safe key requirements reduced or removed, I think in the last update. So I think making it easier for people would actually, and this is obviously not a BFA thing to do, maybe a government thing, but making it easy for folks to actually come to the game so that the game in of itself can be a better product for BFA to put out there, because it is kind of lackluster to put out a football match where there's no one there. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's definitely not a fun event to go to, nonetheless, no matter how diehard of a fan you are. Some people's like, you know what, forget it. And so I think the why we don't have the answer to. I'm hoping that, within the next couple of days, they change that entire policy and that it's no longer safe key required. But I
think they just followed the same protocol that they were doing for cup match and Connie game, like these big sporting events, because they could get the numbers can go up and fluctuate. And then, of course, the number of people that you're around, even though you're outside, people don't know what social distance is. You're up in people's face. And I know it's safe key, but some people are not getting tested regularly. So you can have the safe key and still be vaccinated and still pass that around. So it might be one of those situations. But it is annoying to get there and you're like, oh wait, only 6 of us went and got safe keys or whatever. Cool. Sure.
I definitely, the safe key is a very interesting topic, and we could probably talk about it in depth one day, because I do feel like the group that is probably the most not targeted, but affected by the safe key restrictions are those that have very limited resources in this space to maintain and manage that. And so, yeah, safe key, we will continue to watch that space as Jackie and I both attend these football matches, and we'll see, like, if the reduction of a safe key requirement, does see more people coming out, because maybe people are not coming out because it's raining. Maybe we need what's it, covered stadium to get football matches.
That
maybe
is not happening. That is not happening.
I was trying.
I mean, look at National Stadium. I would hope that they would have brought that over so you're actually covered versus just, I don't even know what that shelter's supposed to be. Because I could be right at the top and I'm still getting wet. So I just never understood that. I was like, I thought it was going to get closed in a little bit better, but whatever. We move.
We were not a part of the infrastructure conversation there, and I want to bring in a few more comments. And then so Jamal, Jack.
Football attendance has very little to do with COVID or safety. They've had challenges for the last 2 decades. In the 80s and 90s, most games had cup match-like crowds.
I remember this.
I've seen pictures, I've seen footage, and honestly, it's I think a lot of sports all around have dwindled when it comes to spectator response and support.
I remember getting to football games in the 90s and it being a thing. Like,
get here, get lost. You're lost to the end of the game.
You make sure you get the cash before you go.
Yeah.
And you just know where the meetup point is after the fact, because it's before South End. And I used to live for a football match, and then antisocial behavior entered the conversation, and it was like, all right, I don't feel too safe, so I'm gonna dip out. But I loved football games back in the day. I want to bring in this coming from Sean Smith. He says, major investment into the infrastructure to put on a high quality show. They need to employ people in every part of the business, i.e. camera people, hosts, etc. Couldn't agree more. I do feel like the structure is missing. The structure is definitely missing when it comes to like the entire product that is football. Mm-hmm. And have you had anyone kind of say to you like at a match, like this would be better if? Like if people like share like what they think would make the game better in passing, because I feel like we like to complain, but we don't really like to do much after we complain.
No, I just heard people saying this game's mug, and I'm like, and your solution?
Exactly right.
Oh, I got no solution. It's just mug. It's mug. I'm like, okay.
Thanks for also acknowledging.
Great chat.
So Jamal says, in reference to host, personalities do matter, but football fans need and want more than a loud voice, like Juggling Jay, who does cricket, knowledge, personality, etc. And I think that's kind of where Jackie was going with that, because I do feel like there is a love for the banter. And I hear it even when I listen to the cup match, cup match and Connie games. Like you can hear some people on the side, like, because you know the lot, and you could just hear them kind of come in, and then the host will kind of carry on what they just said into like what they're talking about. So I don't know if that's what you meant, Jack, but that's kind of what I took away when you said that, because I have seen it not only live sitting there, but I've also heard it where somebody would say something and the host just carry that into the conversation, and it makes for a better conversation, and it also helps you feel like you're there.
Yes, I'm talking about like ex-football players that used to coach, that have always watched the sport, that are actually hilarious, that know how to banter. I don't think it's asking for a lot, because like I said, we walk past them every day. We listen to them at the football games. When I go down Village, I go and I stand next to the uncles and the grandpas, and I'm like, what do you think? And then you just gotta say 1 or 2 words and they go off on a tangent. I'm like, yeah, talk to us, yeah, just a little, and they're going. You see your boy right there? What? Back in the day, whole team would have turned up on them. These lot don't like it like that. They don't push like they used to, and they'll bring up different people's names and their stats and their history, and I like that stuff.
And speaking of people being brought up, Jamal says, ask about Joe Al Brown, one of the best sports commentators Bermuda ever had. He would get fans out to the game easy. And I think that's part of it too, right? Having people that are going to be a part of the match outside of just playing helps to bring more people. I mean, football players and teams can only do so much to bring people out, right? And so, if I know that, so-and-so is going to be possibly commentating this game, I could be at the match and still listen to the commentary as well, or still watch it live stream, because it might be a different view. Maybe I'm so far away that I can't see the angle that the cameraman has, or because there's multiple cameras in a perfect world that, I'm getting different angles. Like, I'm able to see the bench, I'm able to see behind the goalkeeper, et cetera, et cetera. So I hope that, the BFA are taking notes and that they are constantly looking to improve, because I feel like, albeit a silent match, it was a step in the right direction. One more comment from Jamal before we get to commercial, Jack.
As far as attendance, one of the challenges we face is people now have more options to do other things.
Jackie is one said person who has other things to do.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, yes and no. Yes and no. I mean,
go ahead.
I try to follow the games that I know are going to be entertaining, like something that I know is going to be a full-on battle, and I try and go to this. If the game is low, and if I know my team is going to cut tail or get a cut tail, I'm less inclined to go to that game. If it's going to be a battle,
if it's going to be a match,
I want to go to that game.
I can say this. I don't know.
I think everybody just needs to also bring up the level, because what I've been witnessing these past few weeks, and I know you guys can't train like you used to train, and there's restrictions, but go for a run and walk or something.
I mean, I don't know how the BFA selected the first match. Maybe they thought it was going to be better than it was. But I mean, and I think it's because I didn't have Son that it actually was worse for me. But I also felt like just watching that match, I was like, I don't even like either of these teams. And so I'm really just trying to get into the game, and I really couldn't get into the game. So by the time, like I say, I realized that the match was over, I didn't even know there was a score. But it was like...
Yeah, I started socializing and I laughed and I went to a different game.
So maybe it's not just about being able to broadcast it. Maybe there's definitely an overall conversation that needs to be had around football. And we do know it's a panorama outside, so we're definitely not saying that folks are not doing the best that they can in the circumstances that they have. We totally get it. We just wanted to have a conversation to see what other things people are thinking about as far as, us being able to broadcast not only our local matches, but international matches when they do go overseas, our national teams, because that's also a gripe in a lot of Bermudian sides. A thorn, excuse me. That's the word I was looking for, not a gripe. It's like, where did that come from? Anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then Jacky and I will be back with our feel good topic of the day. We're talking about travel. It's a really hot topic these days, especially now that the holidays are coming up. So make sure you stick around.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert. If you're just joining us, we're getting ready to switch to our feel good topic of the day. We're going to be talking about travel and whether it can make you happy or not. But before we move on to that, Jack, I had a few, there's actually one interesting question, a few interesting questions that we're going to get to. So we're actually going to answer this, this childish question, as she says, first. And then we'll move on to a few other comments. So Jamal Harmon wants to know, did the Jackster confirm her support for North Village Community Club? And Jacky, take it away.
Yes, because my niece is playing for the netball team.
Absolutely. We did get it yesterday, Jamal, on yesterday's show, and it's once again today. We're probably going to do it every day that we talk about football so that she doesn't forget who she supported, because I feel like she doesn't forget.
So childish. I wasn't going to choose a team.
And no, we've done it. It's fine. It's okay. Love the team. I don't even know what their mascot is, but love them. Love Village. Love them. Mm-hmm. Love them for life. That's what Lady Jamal's laughing at us. And so we have a question from Nachika Chart. She wants to know if there's a plan to have a representative from BFA on the show. As a matter of fact, there is. We do have them. Well, we would like to have them on in the new year. Kind of to kick off the second half of the season. So hopefully we can have up to 2 representatives, actually. So hopefully when that information comes out, do make sure you share that promotion, make sure you share that episode when we do get them on, because, not only
get your questions ready.
Exactly. Get your questions ready. We've talked about it. We're probably going to talk about it a little bit more before we even have them on and even after. But definitely make sure you engage with us during that conversation. And before we switch gears, Janae says BFA needs to do something similar to what Bermuda Cricket Board did this summer, bringing young people, fresh faces with new ideas. BCB had the game of the week, tried to create a certain culture to bring more people out. I think from the conversation that I've had, because I'm a part of a community club that gets invited to BFA meetings, and it seems like they're moving that way. I don't have access to their plan to see when it's going to roll out, but it seems like they're trying to take a similar model to what BCB did, because it's basically done already. Like you could just like talk to them and have the conversation. So we'll see what happens in the future. But let's go ahead and talk about travel. Simple question. Actually, no, that's not the question we wanted to ask you. Here's the question we wanted to ask you. Can travel make you happy? Why or why not? And so it was interesting when I shared this little link with Jackie to say, hey, let's talk about travel, because she's had obviously a trip in the panoramic and she's having a holiday trip coming up. And so I was like, this is going to be like the perfect question to ask, not only Jackie, but to the audience. And actually, no, she could travel and trotty, because I feel like the answer to this for some people might be obvious, but for some people it might not be like it makes me happy, makes me feel good maybe, but can it make you happy, Jackie? Like, can you literally say, when I travel, I feel happy?
Yes. Absolutely.
Like, so what is it about travel? Because like, it's actually a lot of work. Even before the panoramic, it was a lot of work to travel.
Oh, yeah. The actual like, being in transit can be exhausting. When I used to travel for tennis, I used to have carry way too much stuff. I had to carry my rackets, my change of clothes, all that backup stuff. So my racket big and I was still in school, so my laptop big as well. So doing all of that, that was draining. But to finally get to your destination, get settled and go explore. Who doesn't like a little adventure? Like, so you go and you find people don't like to go on adventures.
Some people like have fear. Some people are, introverted. They don't really like to engage in certain activities. I'm pretty sure there's some Bermudians that are like that.
6, probably 6. Everybody wants to get off the rock. What are you talking about? What they call it? Rock fever? Whatever.
Actually, I did have a conversation with someone who is not interested. And it's obviously, I think, because of the panoramic and some of the restrictions that are associated with travel, which is why I wanted to ask the question, because because there are so much more travel restrictions or guidance and things you have to do to travel, it's like, the thought of travel, does it still make you excited because you have to go through so much before you even get to your destination? No.
You know what? You know what's crazy? I thought it was going to be a lot. Like, I really did, but it's not that hard, to be honest. I went, I booked my my test, my departure test, waited, got my negative result. I was leaving the Monday. I went the Friday afternoon. Saturday would have been enough time as well for me, because they put departures apparently they get a faster kickback
priority.
Right. So I did that, and then all I did was go and check in. Like the same way you'll go and you check in, be like, "Hi, here's my passport," all that stuff. With it, you have your negative test result. They'll help you upload it, and then even when it comes to the they have something else. Basically, you just have to put in information that you've got a negative result. It's kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
And it's like 5 questions, and you just
the airline has something that you have to put in. Okay.
But they email it right to you. So they email this form, you fill it out, you send it back, and you just get on your flight. You have to wear your mask all the time. So most people already have to wear their mask at work or when they go to the grocery store. And some of you guys take longer in the grocery store than the flight actually takes to get to New York.
Stop it.
Listen, some people, I be in and out of the grocery store. I know exactly what I'm getting.
I got a list.
I grab my little card and I just toss everything in. I go to the front and
if I forgot it, I forgot it.
This is it. I'll get it another time, or I really don't need it. If I forgot it, I don't need it.
I have that philosophy as well. Before you go on, Jack, I want to bring in some comments from the audience, because clearly this group of people want to travel. So Janae says, I can't wait to take trips, one with the kids and one without. I'm here for it. So
go without first.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably want to do like the without the children first, just to give yourself a little bit of,
especially if you haven't been traveling. The best thing I don't
figure out the process too.
Right. The best thing to do, figure out the process, go through that. Maybe when you go through with your kids are already hard to travel with. I've taken kids away, and reeling those kids in on a regular day is hard. So doing it when they're super excited and they want to touch everything, just go through the process first, and then sort yourself out, enjoy yourself. You haven't been off the island, go out there and clear your mind, eat all the foods, and just go on a slow-mo for yourself, and then come back, because when you take the kids, you're gonna be like, go.
You'll be ready. You'll be just like you was pre-pandemic. You like, we all knew how to travel before the pandemic, so we knew what things worked and what didn't work. But now that there's extra things you have to do, it'd be nice to figure that out for yourself, and then be able to have less stress. It's not going to be no stress when it comes to travel at any point, but you want to make sure that you're able to be the best mom that you can be, or aunt, or whatever it is, whatever, however many kids you're taking. Nashika mentions that travel is an investment in yourself. Couldn't agree more. It allows you to appreciate cultures, food, and various activities of another country. Travel and Trotty, absolutely. Listen, I follow you on Twitter, and I am living my best life when I see that you're taking a trip. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can tag along via the socials.
Yep, I love the food. Whenever I go to a different place, I'm like, oh, what is the national dish? And who's feeding me?
Who am I going to allow to feed me? Here we go, Jack. A comment from Jamal. He agrees with you.
Yeah. It shocks me that folks don't want to travel outside of Bermuda. My grandfather was like that, couldn't do anything to get him on an airplane. Yeah, I can't. I don't know if it's because I traveled so much for when I was representing Bermuda, and of course representing myself. I was in a different country, different state, everything. At least every 2 to 3 weeks, I was on a flight. So
that's like my biggest pet peeve about when I lived in the US, that I didn't travel the US more, because one, it was so easy, but then two, like, you can literally travel the world in the US. Like, you can get so many different experiences in the US. I mean, I don't know about it now, but it definitely, like, there's mountains in California. Like, in California alone, you can get like all 4 seasons.
I'm a little nervous to like just be wilding in the States right now, because they're wilding themselves.
Like, I don't. Yes. On that note.
Yeah.
The Chikatra says traveling during a pandemic takes more planning, but it is all worth it. I could absolutely see that, but like she says, airlines have apps now, so you can upload all your documents in one location. That actually is not only the smartest thing for airlines to do, but I just think if businesses can, make it easier for their consumers, their customers, to be able to follow the guidelines with ease, I think more people would be able to adapt to it and just take it as part of their norm, because sometimes it's a little frustrating to have like a disjointed process, and then it kind of just takes away the joy. So I think, to Nachika's point, like if the airlines are making it easy for you, I don't see why you wouldn't want to travel. Like, it's not like they're making it difficult. In the beginning, yeah, sure, it was probably terrible to travel, but now it's probably, we've learned our lessons.
No, my trip was super easy. Like, even my friend had that I was visiting, Jess, she made my life easy as well. She was just like, all right, so how often do you want to get tested? And I was like, every day. And she was just like, I've got the place for you to get. Remember. And so I went out there. I wanted to make sure I got tested as soon as I landed. So and it was super easy. Like, I just went up, I scanned the barcode, sat in this little sketchy van, and I got all my results back in.
The sketchy van, because you went to New York. And if you watch Law and Order, like, that's like, I am sitting here having a Law and Order flashback.
You know exactly what it looks like. I'm trying to make sure you guys are on this adventure.
Visualize.
Yep. And I got 2 tests. I got my PCR test and I got my rapid test. The rapid test came back in like 2 hours, and my PCR came back the next day, and I was good to go, and I felt comfortable. And I went back 2 more times, and the last time was to be able to get back into Bermuda. I emailed it straight in to the Bermuda COVID Authority.
The Travel Authorization Form. Yes, Bermuda Ministry of Health.
Yes, and I sent it in to them, and 5 minutes later, they're emailing saying that it's getting processed. And then 20 minutes after that, I was free to come home, and it was super easy. Came to my airline, I had to write checked in on my phone. I showed them that. They asked me if I wanted a printed one. I told him I'm straight, but he still printed me one anyway. And
just face to the tree. Look at him.
I agree. I was just like, but I have contactless. Don't touch.
It's a panorama, sir. Like, what?
I get to touch it to scan it. It was, but whatever.
We move. We definitely move. Tavika Hill says, I'm planning a trip as we speak and I can't wait. I haven't been off the island since before the pandemic. Well, we are going to be stalking you on the socials if you are posting anything, or we might just hit you up because we got your email now. Boom.
We do.
So we will find out how the trip is. And then so Sean Smith, Jack.
I guess I'm somewhat blessed living in Portugal. I can do a staycation as there's a lot I still have not seen living here. Yeah, because Portugal's massive.
It is really big. And actually, that brings us into our second question of the day. Do you value vacations overseas more than staycations? Because, I mean, to Sean's point, like in a country where there is so much to still explore, I could see how, that is a blessing so that you can do staycations because you haven't left your country yet. But for those of us that, have limited landmass to experience or explore, or once you've done it, do you value going overseas more than staycations, or are you a staycation person? Because I've met some people that have said that they like staycations, and I'm just like,
I like a little staycation, but I prefer to get off the island.
I'm a balanced person.
I have to
value
take time.
Is the key. Like value is the key. Like which one is like to you more important? Like I'm not saying that people don't like staycations. Which one do you like more?
No. Getting off the island mainly because I need to be unavailable. In the sense like you can't reach me to ask me to do something for you because I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I am supposed to be I'll sort it. I'll figure it out. I know I'm supposed to go take myself to lunch, but yeah, you need help, I'll come help you. Even though I'm trying to take a vacation, a staycation, you're still going to ask me for something, but I'll help you. That's fine. But I need to get off the island so that you can't ask me to do anything. Then I'm going to be like, I'll figure it out to try and help you. No.
Right.
I'm not in Bermuda. I can't help you.
Can't physically help it. I want to say greetings to Rashida. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead and let us know, what do you value more, vacations overseas or staycations? One thing I can say that I had to learn to do, this was before I even left Atlanta, I would turn my phone on airplane mode and turn off Wi-Fi. When I needed to study, when I needed to focus, when I needed to just disconnect, I would just do that. And so when I came home, it was a little bit difficult for me to, like you said, Jackie, to disconnect. So I started to do that when I needed the same type of disconnection. And when I do staycations, I do that. And so I tell people beforehand, like, don't try to hit me up. I'm not available. I'm not even getting any hotel Wi-Fi. Like, leave me alone. And so I actively, like, I might turn it on every once in a while just to see, like, if my mom has an emergency or something like that. But it would be during a time when I can actually do something. Like if it's at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night when I'm probably asleep anyway or going to begin sleep, I am not of use or help to you. Call 911. But no, I turn off my data, everything. You can't get to me. Leave me alone.
I feel guilty. I do. Because as soon as I turn on my my data, because I have my do not disturb one and stuff, but as soon as I go, I'm like, let me just check. I will have missed calls from my dad and voice notes, and I got into a panic. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? He'd be like, hey, I just was calling to see how your day was going. Dad, you're stressing me. I thought something was wrong. Why do I have 8 missed calls and 4 voice messages? I didn't even check them. I just called you right away. You're just like, oh, I just wanted to make sure you're just having fun. Like, what?
Such a parent move. I love it though. I mean,
I appreciate it.
It's one of those things where it's like, I get why you're doing it, but also you didn't understand what I was trying to do. You did not understand the assignment. Like, you got an F. You got a big F on that assignment.
His semi-retired. I need to get him 2 more jobs. Occupy his time.
Leave Uncle Lab for the day. Jason Shirley says, staycations in Bermuda aren't the same. You will always see somebody or will be disturbed. I mean, I totally get that. That is definitely life in Bermuda, right? And then Rashida Garvin says she appreciates vacations overseas. Janae and then Achika Jack.
Staycation is not the same. Running into the same people you're trying to get away from is not it. Also, you want to be want the different food and views. Yeah, and like getting excited because you are on a staycation and you want to order some hotel food, and they're like, all right, so 6 chicken wings is $1 million. $25. And you're like, I should have brought my own groceries.
That is me every single
This
time.
vacation cost the same amount as me leaving the island. I should have just left. It would have been probably cheaper sometimes.
And then a chicken try, Jack.
I enjoy activities on the island all year round. However, I am reluctant to stay in a local hotel due to the price. Wow. It was like right on cue.
Right on cue. That's what I say. Like I feel like it's one of those things where it's like I understand why, staycations are a vibe, but I also feel like I don't want the full vacation experience, like Jacky mentioned, to be able to physically be unavailable, because it is one thing to be able to disconnect yourself, like from a technology standpoint, and not be on social media, not be able for people to just call you or text you when they need you. However, they can still come to the hotel and find you.
Yeah. Like I have in my head, I have 3 trips lined up for next year: Panama, Colombia, Costa Rica, and I'm just like, I can't wait to go back and practice my non-Spanish. I took Spanish in middle school, and of course with tennis you remember certain things, but sometimes I'm just like, I just remember how to talk tennis talk in Spanish. I can call the score, I can dispute, but I can't really. Yeah, it's gonna be entertaining. It's fun.
We're gonna wrap up today's conversation with a few more comments for Sheeta Gobbin, Jack.
I went UK for 3 weeks in October, and it was great. One, you have Uber, it's even more better. Yes, I like a little Uber.
Yeah, Uber definitely got it wrong.
Uber to drive and Uber Eats.
Uber, right? Jason says, and that glorious mole food, Panda Express for the win.
I miss a little Panda Express. I used to be like, can I get a sample? Thank you. I'll take a few more.
Yeah. Meal out of these samples. That's one thing about me.
And then I still get the whole meal, but I'll eat these samples if the line's long. Like, can I just get one more? Because like,
I'm waiting. I'm hungry.
Waiting in line. I feel like I deserve.
This last comment from Davika here. She says, travel is the preference, but I do like an occasional staycation when I just need a quick break from my usual routine. Absolutely. I feel like, honestly, as long as you take the time to take care of yourself, whether you're going to do that overseas or on the island, that is the key. And on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back for travel time with Terri. Trivia time with Terri. We're going to test your knowledge to see if you can guess the names of these TV shows before Jacky.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pete's House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert. If you're just joining us today, we talked about whether travel can make us happy or not. We also discussed if we like staycations over overseas vacations. And if you didn't get a chance to engage with us, don't worry. You can always do that right now. Go ahead and drop us a comment. It is time for trivia time with me, Terri. I am going to be asking Jacky a few questions. Today they're on TV shows, so I'm hoping that I mixed it up. I hope that she and the audience can guess correctly. If you guess before Jacky, I will bring up the email address that we need you to contact us on so that we can get you in the runnings for a prize. So Jacky, are you ready?
Kinda.
I'm going to start with an easy one that I think you'll get. This TV show is about 4 women, a successful
girlfriends.
Lawyer. Jesus, yes. So for the audience's benefit, the TV show has a successful lawyer. One has a child named Jabari. Another has multiple degrees, and one married Todd. So yes, the TV show is Girlfriends. Okay, moving swiftly along because Jacky just... 2 brothers running a newsstand, and their father has a restaurant called Pop's Diner. Okay, yes.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored.
Give me a high five. Last one. Hopefully the audience can, just pause for a second, Jack. Just pause for a second.
Okay.
This TV show aired in late after hours, introducing viewers to the most explicit and sexual music videos. Do you know it?
Wait, I thought you said, pause. Okay, say it.
Not forever.
Oh, okay, talk. Say it again.
This TV show aired in late after hours, introducing viewers to the most explicit and sexual music videos. What's the name of this TV show? I may have gotten
MTV. Nope.
Audience, can you guess it? Can you guess it? Ooh, someone beat you.
Uncle Phil, you're supposed to text it to me.
No.
Just kidding.
So Phil definitely got it.
I said BET, but I didn't realize it was Uncut.
But the whole network was bad, Jack.
I got 0.5.
No, there's no half points over here. It's all or nothing. But this isn't like the Daily Hour. We'll give half poinks for half the answer. It's a roll.
Oh shit.
Shake room. Palm tree. Just a palm tree. As always, we have that today's good vibe of it. Oh, what? It's a joke. Yes. Why, yes. You did. We weren't going to say anything, but since you did. As always, we hope that today's feel good vibe of the day has you ready to make it a great one. Thank you so much for watching and engaging with this episode of Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert, and we trust we'll see you tomorrow for another feel good conversation. Until the next episode, peace and have a good day, Bermuda.